Sky B, ETA, 5 minutes.
Zulu Hotel, Traffic, Golf Alpha Oscar, taxiing, lining up for departure.
Guy B, can you please state your intentions?
Requesting to land.
Well, as you're heading at the runway at approximately 45 degrees, you're going to have a heck of a hard time making a landing.
I know, that's why I was asking for assistance.
Sorry, I was driving coffee.
That's alright, I'm about to crash into the hillside, looks like so.
Climb a bit.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Mark.
Morning. Runway in sight.
Guy B, do you expect to be able to make a clear landing unassisted now you can see it?
Yes, that's fine.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
1 mile or moderate pace.
The only thing I ever ask of anyone is that if they hit the runway and leave lots of metal behind, that they sweep up after themselves.
Today we have Skylark online speak for the first time, but he is only able to listen, I think.
Warning, sim speed.
Is that SL2992?
Yes, should be.
Well,
Is
hello,
that the-
Skylark.
only answer presence chat, I think, if you are in the vicinity.
Oh, I'm watching him here. I can see him on the radar. And I have all of his text.
Okay.
I can receive and transmit via text anywhere within 1,500 miles of my position.
Oh, that's great. I don't know the exact limit for anyone else, but there is one.
Normally there is one. Yes, quite a bit smaller than that. But because I'm ATC, I have a 1,500 mile radius.
Alright. Should also be possible to publish a text message to the chat. I mean, to the chat inside Teams.
You can use chats there. You can use chats to me on the radar, but I prefer that no one does, because when it comes up blocking the radar screen.
Yeah.
When he's going to get in, unless he'll be coming in after you. Okay, Skylark, I think you're going to be fine. Let me just confirm with Guy B and see what he's doing. Which way are you headed and what are you up to?
Just getting the aircraft back under control now.
Okay, so you're fairly high at the moment. When you get back under control, can you swing back north along the runway direction and you're staying at your current altitude? That way you'll be above Skylark as he makes his approach.
That's fine, I'll head north.
Romeo Alpha Tango 7, ready to take off from Zulu Hotel.
Guy B, if you can, make your thing 015.
Repeat, please, ATC.
If you can, please make your heading, turn right to a heading of 015 and maintain that. Try to hold 6,000 if you can.
015, thank you, ATC.
Skylark, you are cleared if you follow the current approach. Try not to get below about 3,500 feet or you will clip the tops of the mountains.
Where did you get your sector files
I think these ones I pulled down from the Chinese website.
from? Yeah, I got from IVO, Chinese division. But the sector file is one file for complete China.
Well, I have individual ground movement charts, I have approach charts, and I have certain sectors that are approximately, I've got about 6 sectors to cover the country, as well as a full chart.
I only found the full chart, complete China, everything, all under one file. I had to thin it down a bit. It was overloaded already. I obviously connection with the server, so it was a waste of time anyway.
Yeah, I was pretty much in the same boat, but as I said, there were other sectors there available too. There were large coverage sectors. This current one is Kunming.
And they were off the IVO site,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were. You had to sort of pick out the Chinese characters to do it. It wasn't under the English section. Skylark, if you maintain a heading of 289 degrees, that should bring you in line to connect to the ILS. Don't get below 2,000 feet, or else you'll be so low you'll have trouble connecting with the ground plane. Also, Skylark, you'll see Guy B passing across in front of you from left to right. Guy, I'm going to take you out past the end of the ILS a little ways and bring you back in. It'll give you time to reconfigure and get prepared for landing.
Okay, thank you, Angus.
ATC Air China 646 Heavy, 100 nautical miles out, request vectors, runway 20 right.
Roger, for me, please make your heading 255.
255, roger.
You can begin your descent to about 6,000, but don't get below 6,000, you'll hit a few mountaintops.
Roger, 6,000 feet.
Skylark, do you have the ILS set up? Cool, you should intersect any moment. Guy B, please turn left to heading 259.
Turn left to heading 259, Roger.
Descend to 3,000 feet.
Romeo Alpha Tango 7 taking off from Zulu, Hotel.
Roger the read back, Guy, that was good. And Romeo Alpha Tango 7, thank you for your information. Skylark, please report localizer acquisition. Roger that, you are cleared to land, 20. I don't know if anyone else has different scenery, but while there are currently 2 runways here at ZHYC-ZUCK, the scenery we have, or at least that I have been able to find, only has the 1 runway. So we have just 20 or 02. There is no second runway.
Roger that, ATC. Notice that myself, the 1 runway that we have is 20 right.
That is correct. It's the one that's currently 20 right now on the new package. Okay, cool, Bub. Well, if you know where that one is, let me know. I'd love to get a copy of that one with 2 runways. How are you making out, Guy B?
Cruising at 111, 14.5 miles from the airport at 4,000.
Guy B, come left to heading 177.
Turn left to heading 77.
Guy B, do you have your ILS set up?
That's pleasure.
Which airport are you guys at?
ZUCK.
Roger that. I'm just starting, so I won't be there by the time you guys leave.
Okay, Guy B, maintain your current head and descend to 2,500 feet.
Maintain heavy descent to 2,500.
Mike G, looking back at Zero Hotel again. Tripoli. Flight.
Mike, you're very garbled and sound like you're in the bottom of a well. I got some of that, but not all of it. Mike, you're very garbled and sound like you're in the bottom of a well.
I think it's picking up the sound from my other computer speakers.
Roger that.
I think it's picking up the sound from my
Roger that. Guy B, when you have it, could you please report the localizer acquisition?
Roger, report localizer acquisition. Unmanned site.
If you have trouble with the localizer, you're cleared visual landing.
Roger. Unmanned site. Roger.
Nice one and welcome down, Skylark. Nice to see you here with us on the quiet. Welcome to the club. We usually all drop ourselves somewhere. We were coming a little high and hot, were you? Well, that's exactly why you're supposed to be able to hand fly the plane, because it helps to be able to put the nose down and take it. I have visual on you on approach. You're looking good.
Roger.
Boeing 727-100 ready to taxi Zulu Hotel Yankee Charlie for takeoff.
Go for it. This is a weather update for all pilots, Yangtze International Airport, ZHYC-ZUCK. The wind is currently variable at 2 knots. Visibility 10,000 plus meters. We have clear skies and visual flight rules. Current temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. The altimeter is 29.94 inches of mercury, or 1014 kilopascals. We are currently landing run 20 with a heading of 199 and an ILS of 108.1. Had a bit of a ground loop, guy.
My plane is on display besides the runway at the moment.
Roger that. I can see you from the tower.
You don't want to see it.
Well, at least you're not on the runway. That's the important thing.
Thank you. I'm clear of the runway, but between the runway and the taxiway.
Roger that. Just select yourself a new location at that airport, one of the GA slots or something similar, and you can hop right there. That'll keep you clear and still online.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Charlie, Alpha 646, do you read?
ATC Air China 646 Heavy, copy.
Everything good with you?
That's affirmative, everything okay.
Roger that, you're on course on that altitude. I expect to see you here anytime.
Roger, ATC, looks like I'm getting VO or a signal now. Still nothing on the localizer.
You are 34 miles to the ILS, so just hang in there.
Roger.
There is a ridge of hill-type mountains between us, between you and the airport. Once you get clear of those, I'll bring you down.
Roger that.
Yes, Skylark, I saw that. I flew down here, flew in last night to the airport, along the river, all the way in. Took myself down to 3,000 feet as I across the plains towards the airport. I had to quickly whip up another couple of thousand feet to clear them because I didn't know they were sitting there. So, yes, do be careful. They are just parallel to the runway. I'm sure that the plane wasn't doing it on purpose, or maybe it was. Maybe it's just your personality, Skylar. He doesn't like you.
That autopilot had in from my passenger in Shanghai to that 60-degree bank.
The X737 has a couple of quirks. They haven't ever really ironed out. I found that when I'm flying it, if it'll hit a VOR, comes up on the VOR, on a slightly the wrong angle, it wanders off and does a great big loop around if you're not watching closely.
Yeah, actually, it used to be great about intersecting these VOR radials, but it's really deteriorated in the past few weeks. I think they have some of their own custom logic fit.
Yeah, I think you're right. It seems to be, one of the things I've noticed is you have to stay on top of setting the manual heading. You keep the manual heading lined up with your next directional turn, it seems to work, but if your heading is off by any amount, the thing tends to wander.
Yeah, the autopilot of the X37 is totally broken at the moment.
Well, fortunately, I'm using an older version, several generations old at this point, and it still flies reasonably well, apart from the tendency to get lost at VORs.
I think the version 4 might have been worked, but the problem is that now they have upgraded to version 5, even the 737-800, the autopilot didn't work well, and the 737-700 is even worse.
Well, my 737-800 again is an older version. That's what I fly when I do. And apart from the VOR issue, it's pretty good. The other thing it does have that it doesn't have the flaps set as it is in real life, so that it's tied to your airspeed. It's very easy if you're not careful to tear the flaps off and never notice it. So it means you're landing at 220 knots without flaps in order to get it off.
I like to fly VOR by VOR without the FMC, and it doesn't work at all. And also the ILS doesn't work at all. You need one.
Well, I don't know exactly which version I have, but the older version that I have, which is probably 6 months old anyway, generally works quite well, apart from those couple of things I have to watch.
China, we've got something flying now.
Good, Mike, great. China Air 646, you can begin your descent to 3,000 feet, actually make that 3,500 feet, and slow and configure for landing.
Roger that, 3,500 feet, slow and configure for landing.
I'm also not really sure why they attempted to do the 737-700 at all when the 737-800 was not fixed yet.
What can I say? Some people just think they should jump off in a different direction. I guess they thought they should have both models, and they had one semi-working, and they could get the other one at least semi-working, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah. Maybe it's also because the new one in XP11, I think there is a default 737 inside. And one of our colleagues here, the Turkish pilot Hayri, is looking at it at the moment. There's some other guy in the forum that provides some special modifications to the default model. That seems to work reasonably well.
Well, that's nice to hear. It'd be great to get all the systems on that aircraft working.
It's working very nice.
Can you give us some experiences, Hayri? Maybe what does it add this add-on?
Well,
sorry to interrupt, guys. Just give me 1 second here, please. Skylark, could you please turn your transponder to standby? You're cluttering my screen. And Gumi, you should be ready to intersect with the localizer any moment now. So please report when you intersect, and then I'll be able to clear you for landing.
ATC Air China 646, roger.
Yeah, you're 5 miles from the ILS.
Roger, ATC, getting the signal now.
You guys go ahead and chat. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem, Refish. First thing first. Well, I had uploaded some videos in my YouTube channel. Every time this guy Zibo uploaded a new version. I mean, the left FMC is working maybe like 70-80% now. And if you do things by the book, you can fly the aircraft without any problems. I mean, not without big problems, I should say. From time to time you face some, quirks here and there. I haven't tried the latest 252, I think, the latest upload he made. But it's getting better and better every time.
ATC Air China 646, localizer intercepted 14 nautical miles.
Roger that, China Air. You are cleared to land.
Roger, clear to land.
Yeah, the one thing I really miss on that 737 is it has these, and I'm not sure if it's that or the Kiki specifically, but it has very hard set points for the flaps, where if you exceed the speed by the slightest amount, then it rips them off. Whereas, and of course, in a real aircraft, number one, there's a lot more flex in it than that, and there's also a certain amount of tolerance, but more importantly, the 737 has auto-retract on the flaps at certain speeds. So if you do exceed the speed, it will pull them back in to protect them.
Really? Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a simple thing they've done. They have hard limits into the program, and if you're getting a little too fast, it begins to pull them back. It gives you certain leeway as well, of course.
Well, I mean, it has to be like that, with all the technology now.
Well, it's not very complicated, as you can imagine. I mean, they simply have the flaps triggered so that if the plane exceeds a certain speed, which is the actual not VNE, with plus a certain amount of allowance for the flaps for emergency circumstances, then it just starts to retract by a few notches just to clean it up.
Yeah, it should do that, yes.
Has anyone tried the new XP11 update that came out over the weekend?
I have the latest XP11 release 2, I think. I always keep it up to date.
Until I get it
should be 11.01 or something.
Until I get a new computer, I can't. XP10 is taxing mine, pretty much to the limit. If I want to fly with any sort of frame rate, I have to eliminate the clouds.
Ah, okay.
Well,
but mine's a very simple old machine. It's a Mac Mini, 4-core that can split to 8 cores, so the processing power is fine. And there's lots of memory, but I don't have any graphics card. The graphics is the built-in one that uses the processors. So unfortunately, it really slows it down.
Yeah, I had the same problem with my MacBook, so I had to switch to Windows.
I'm holding my breath and hoping they bring out a new Mac Pro a little later this year.
so you have no intention to switch over to Windows?
Not if I can humanly help it.
As the Max had always the problem that the graphic power is not sufficient for gaming simulation.
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion that two top-of-the-line graphics cards and a reasonable amount of memory would probably handle it fairly well if you had 8 or 12 cores.
Well, I had the MacBook Pro with 8 GB RAM and 1.5 video RAM. It didn't work.
Well, I know that the current Mac Pro, the 12-core cards and a fair chunk of memory, mid-range, I think 32 gigs, can run two 5K monitors simultaneously, external 1K HD monitor. So I think the graphics must be reasonably good for that. Okay, I'm gonna grab another cup of coffee back soonest. And China Air, as you know, you're cleared to land. I see final. Good landing.
Roger, thank you. Short final visual on runway. Chongqing traffic, Air China 646, heavy, clear, active runway.
Tango Charlie 789, how's your river cruise going?
Excellent. I'm just following the riverbed, wherever it takes me.
Personally, I think you're a bit high. You should be down to about 300 feet if you really want to enjoy it.
Well, I'm currently at 1900 and going between the walls of, valley.
Well, you wait till we get a little. You wait until we get a little toward Lijiang. That is where the river loops up around it in a very steep bend. That's an amazing piece of river valley. That's just fantastic.
Yeah, I'm also streaming this to 0 viewers.
My suggestion, if anyone does decide to do some of that, is that you pick an aircraft something like a biplane, or something that's not too fast, something that can cruise at 100 knots, because there are places where you definitely cannot go too fast. There just isn't any way out of the valley.
Well, I hope I can manage.
Just in case.
When I flew the DC-3 on version 9, I actually, because of the lack of airports, I was able to land on some sandbanks on the side of the river occasionally before I finished segments of the flight. But it really gets to the place. There are places along there near Lijiang where you're actually in a valley that's several 5,000 or 6,000 feet deep, and to climb out of it to get over the mountains is incredibly difficult without actually winding through the valley. And ordinary engines, piston powered, aren't very good because it gets thin there.
Well, I have to be careful then. Huh?
Yes, indeed. Although, aren't you turbo powered?
Sorry?
Aren't you flying in? Isn't that Epic turbo powered?
Yeah, it is. Epic 1000.
Yes, you have turbos, so that's not so bad.
User joined your channel.
It flies nice.
The old Dakota with the radio chugged quite a lot when I flew it through there.
Try it with camel.
I do want to get from one place to another, Mike. Crossing the river with the soft width, yes, but going along the length of it, I don't think.
Sorry for filing my plan as IFR. I decided to go VFR.
We don't have any particular worries about that here. We're all friends, and we know that not everything is done quite by the traditional book. We do what we can, we make it work. That's all that counts. We're here for fun.
Yep.
I generally file everything as Z, IFR to VFR.
Yeah, the reason I'm streaming is that I cannot publish or upload pictures in the forums, so I thought I'd keep a souvenir of the flight.
Good one. When I flew this section, I took a ton of snapshots, screen shots, all the way through the length of it. I still have them all in a folder somewhere.
Well, I let Google store it for me.
Alright, I'll have to grab some coffee now. Be back later.
See you, Kumi.
Back soonest. Skylark, that sounds fantastic. I had seen your note on the website, and I was hoping you'd have it posted prior to our getting here, but anytime you can get any orthos up there, I'm all up for it. I'd be happy to take it.
Me too. I already got the previous one, but I couldn't use it this time. This is my secondary copy of X-Plane 11.
I said I have a very mild problem. It's not a big one yet, but my scenery folder is getting quite a bit larger than is easy to manage. I'm slightly over 1.7 terabytes now of scenery, so you have to really work through it and clean it all up.
How long does it take to start that one then? Isn't it a negative impact?
At startup, not really. It only draws in the information it requires, so it's not really pulling down everything.
I thought it had to read to anything that is active.
Well, it reads through all the files and checks them, yes, but it still works fine. As I said, this little computer I have, while it does only have 4 cores, it splits to 8 cores for threading, and while it doesn't have the graphics power, its actual computing power is fairly good.
The only problem you would have is if you're using Windows and you have the ground traffic plugin in each of the
User joined your
airport.
channel.
I can imagine that would be a problem. Yeah, this reads the ground traffic information and does do a certain amount of that. I get ground traffic on all of these where there actually is some. I do, but otherwise not too bad. But I'm fortunate I'm not on Windows.
Yeah, well, in Windows, I have that problem with both 10 and 11. 11 flat out refused to start because they had too many DLL loading, which all the .xpl or seen as a DLL.
Well guys, there's a notice here from server admin saying that he needed to restart the server. We'll do it in 20 minutes. It will take a few minutes. Sorry for the inconvenience. Just for your information.
Yeah, Roger, got it.
That's okay, thank you.
Meanwhile, we have to fall back on the chat system. XIWeb.
Which server is he talking about? The one for Explain or the one for TeamSpeak?
TeamSpeak. At least I interpret it that way. Because it came on the TeamSpeak server.
Yeah, it's on the TeamSpeak server here as well.
Raf, are you in control of Super Hotel Yankee Charlie as well, or just ZUCK?
No, just ZUCK.
Okay, Roger. My weather conditions are going down. I'm on the way to the other one.
Roger that, sorry.
No problem.
Which airport did you say you're going to?
Zulu Hotel Yankee Charlie, the first one. But no problem, I have still sight, I need to go down. I'm currently going down to 2,000 feet. But I can still see the river. I'm just afraid that I won't see the airport.
I wanted to try that one, but since I'm in the darkness, I won't try it right now because I'm afraid of mountains.
Yeah, sure. I have
User
set daylight
disconnected from your
conditions.
channel.
Darkness is probably okay if you get a sunrise or sunset in between in real time, but not for the whole flight.
Well, there's no point in flying in the darkness, I guess.
Well, with XP11, you have a choice. It's real time all the time.
No, why? You have it with XP10, XP11.
Right.
I cannot change the time of day here in XP11.
Why not?
The setting doesn't exist.
There is. You have to go to from the menu. Flight configuration. And go to the right.
Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar 001, are you there?
Yes, sure.
If you make your heading 305, that should take you to the ILS intercept.
B05. Thank you. But
Martin,
I
you
don't
go
think-
to flight configuration, and then go to right bottom time of day and customize, or pull the slider towards left or right.
Oh, okay. Only problem right now, since I'm airborne, I
doesn't
cannot do
matter.
it because otherwise it will reset the whole thing.
No, you don't have to reset anything. You can do it during the flight, no problem.
Every time I touch before the flight configuration, it was resetting me to the first airport that I was in.
Ah, okay. I mean, I didn't know that.
Then maybe it's not working today because I just received a new update of Explain 11 before I could do the fly-in.
Well, that's good. That's what I'm using at the moment.
Gulf Alpha Oscar, just a little update for you. The terrain between you and the ILS appears pretty flat. I think if you maintain your present altitude or get somewhere around 2,000 feet, you should be fine for intercept. Do you have the ILS information for that airport?
Yes, I am at 2,000 feet right now, but in my data, which I have in Plan G, there is no ILS assigned to the airport.
Roger that.
But in any case, I have a GPS on board, so I can use that, and it says I should be 300.
Fuel tank switched.
312. Direct course to the airport. I'm currently flying 305.
User disconnected from your channel.
I can see your river at my 2 o'clock, so we should be converting on you shortly.
Gulf Alpha Oscar, do you have an NDB on board?
Yes, sir.
If you want, you can steer towards the NDB.
Warning. Sim
It's set
speed.
at, sorry, the lower outer marker is 436.
436.
And then the inner marker is 389.
What's on 436?
Are you receiving 436?
Yes, no, I'm not receiving 436. I just checked it, I've tuned it, but it is not being received.
Okay, give me a minute. Oh, you also use the VOR there is 116.9.
Yes, 116.9, that should be there. Wait a minute. I'm tuning it. Okay, I have reception for this viewer.
Okay, if you steer, turn right to heading 309, that should bring you right to the intercept of what would be the approach. Then you can steer on a course of 316 from the outer marker to the runway, and that should take you right to the runway.
Okay.
309 to the outer marker, and then 316 from the outer marker to the runway.
309.
With any luck, you may be visual by then anyway.
Yep, I hope so.
Best of luck.
Thanks. I think the distance should be about 33 nautical miles, at least according to the GPS.
Right now, you're just about 22 nautical miles to intercept the what would have been the ILS. Probably another 6 miles to the outer marker.
So the runway is runway 32. Okay. I'll slow down a bit, that allows for better corrections. I'm in a Baron 58.
I saw that.
Didn't expect low clouds here since you announced clouds up to 10,000, but okay, it's far away.
across the runway, Cool Bug. Mike, how are you doing? You seem to be hanging in there now.
Yes, I updated the CSL in this copy and it solved the problem. It was actually cracking, reporting defective CSL files. So I don't know whether that was the same on the new computer. I mean, the symptoms were the same, but I deleted it and I'm installing it on that one from the DVD view, so running on the old one, yeah.
I've always found it better if you're switching processors or any of the hardware components that you reinstall from scratch, because it will search out and locate and make sure that everything's connecting properly. So it's just something I've always done.
Yeah, I've swapped files to and fro between computers before with no problem, but I don't know what went wrong with it this time. Anyway, it seems to have solved the problem on this one, so we'll see what happens when everything's installed.
Well, with any luck, it solved it for you. You seem to be doing fine now. Hopefully, if you do the reinstall on your new laptop, it should clear you up and you'll be flying fine.
Yeah, let's hope.
Now, if you can just get Pro Controller back up and working, then I can take a break.
Yeah, well, I'll give that one a miss today. I was playing with it all day yesterday and there's no luck. It's got to be something simple. I mean, it was working. I mean, it was working on this setup I'm on now before I went off to work, and when I came back it wasn't working. I don't know what could have, I mean, nothing had changed here because the computer hadn't been running, so it's got to be something somewhere else, something stupid somewhere.
What can I say? Welcome to the Windows universe. I have absolutely no faith in Windows. I switched to Mac in 1989 and I've never...
Connection lost.
Autopilot engage.
Warning, sim speed. Fuel tank switched. Warning, sim speed.
Gear down. Approaching waypoint.
Traffic. Traffic. Climb. Climb. Clear of conflict.